I finished reading a book a couple weeks ago called Messy Spirituality. And of course, it follows all the normal tropes of a Christian book. It's filled with sappy stories, Bible verses, and inspirational quotes. And for the most part, when you read a Christian book, you're reading a book that is based upon a person's success. You're reading a book that's based upon the greatness that a man or woman has done. They've reached the pinnacle of who they are, and therefore they're going to write about it and tell you how they got to that point, and hopefully that you can actually accomplish what they have done or be inspired to accomplish what they have done. Though this book was different. It was not written out of his success, it was written out of his failure. You see, this guy had been kicked out of 2 different Bible schools, started a church that started well, at least according to how we think of it, but lost members. So it wasn't really a success in how we kind of deem a church being successful. So for me, this made for a little bit more interesting read. I was intrigued, and one of his chapters made me stop and think and meditate. And even though I put this book down several weeks ago, it's still something that's been churning within my mind. The chapter was on the sameness found within churches and how a lot of them just look like cookie cutters of each other. And the more I thought about this, the more I realized the truth of it. Because within Christianity, there's a song. And it goes, "Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. All are precious in his sight, red and yellow, black and white." Unfortunately, as I started meditating on what he was saying and on the song, I realized that we don't really do this. There's something disconnected between what we actually do and what the Bible tells us that we should be doing. You see, the reality is most of our congregations are the same. Same color skin, same kind of political beliefs, same kind of jobs, blue collar, white collar, and same amount of money. So as I've been meditating on these things, I've realized something, and I started thinking about it. What have we lost as Christians by being so cookie cutter, so segregated across all of our congregations? And this is where I love the Bible so much, because in the Bible, it gives us an example of what Christians are. And Christians are not the most loving kind of people. If you read the Bible, you see Christians full of greed, incest, backbiting. Every kind of vice you can think of is found within Christianity. Now, I'm not saying any of this stuff is good, but what I am saying is that when you go to church and you don't really see this kind of interplay between what is right and what is wrong, and a pushing towards a better world in which we can live in, you really don't get the full flowering of what Christianity is. Christianity has lost the grit that sort of rubs everybody the wrong way, but that we're trying to fix and heal within each other. Because within Christianity today, if somebody's in a church and they rub somebody the wrong way, there's societal pressure for them to move on. Go to a church that more agrees with your kind of philosophy, your ideas. They don't really want to deal with the problems that the person brings up. They much rather push it and have somebody else deal with the problem. As I've gone along in my journey, I've realized that to be a Christian is to mean that we're not like everybody else. We've joined a movement centered around Jesus Christ that accepts everybody, and that we have to deal with the problems that everybody deals with. And we have to see things from other points of view. So it gets things interesting that when we try to push out people who disagree. There's a lack of moral courage in churches today to allow the malcontents to stay, to give them a place to raise their voice, not to shove them into the corners and say, "Hey, we don't want you speaking, go down, be quiet." To raise their voice and speak up, to cry out to Jesus Christ and to cry out to his followers to say, "Hey, where are you going? You're going in the wrong direction." Can you imagine this, where people are actually allowed to speak up in a church? I know for many it's scary though. For many it's scary to be that vulnerable, because a malcontent, a person who speaks up, can look into the soul of another person and actually say, "No, what you're doing is wrong. Where you're going with your life is wrong." Nobody likes this feeling, but as Christians, this is what we accepted when we accepted Jesus Christ. An ability of others to actually look into our lives and to point things out. So honestly, this is my prayer. God, fill my church with the malcontents. Fill my church with those who want to see your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Fill my church with those who want to see your will be done and who are willing to speak out and speak up no matter where it is or no matter what the cost. Fill my church with those people who stand upon your justice, your righteousness, and your goodness, who are willing to pay the price, who are willing to bear burdens of your will upon themselves, who are willing to actually do what you call them to do. This is my prayer, and I hope you can make it yours as well, so that what is lost can be found again. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can subscribe by clicking right about there. And if you know somebody who might be interested in watching this, go ahead and share it with them. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless.